Greetings everyone, I'm Doctor Mario360, and today I have a special guest.
What's up everybody, it's your boy Mr. A!
Yes, thank you. Today we'll be tackling Joshua, Shadvik's 500 subscriber special commentary.
So I'ma just step in to clear this up. Yes, we're actually doing a commentary on Joshua. While he's been a bandwagon in the past and became a dead horse for a while, he's still making content, he's fair game. People shouldn't be getting on people's cases just because they're covering Joshua. And while this 500 subscriber special of his is undeniably better than his older videos, the Doctor and I still have enough problems with it to make a commentary out of.
So I guess it's time we began. Alonze!
Sweet Jesus!
My eardrums! Well, that was something, I guess.
One side, bro. Tackling presentation is my specialty.
Alright, floor's yours.
So, where to begin? How about with RIP headphone users? Like seriously, the music in a video shouldn't ever be that loud. Why you thought it was a good idea to explode your viewers' eardrums right off the bat, I couldn't guess. In addition, this intro is 13 seconds long, and all you show is a blown up YouTube avatar pic and static text. Either liven up your intro or do something different, because this just looks lazy. Oh, and before I forget, I saw the image fade to black, so that means you added white borders. Screw black borders matter, white borders matters a lot more concerning considering you intentionally added it in. And it sticks out like a sore thumb since you kinda just leave it there and don't do anything with it. Like, if you were going to go through all the effort to do this, why couldn't you just use a background image and put your avatar images on top of that? You seem to have the ability and software to do so, so why don't you do it? Do I need to go on?
Hello YouTubers, it's Joshua428 speaking. 500 subscribers. 500 subscribers! Finally! Extremely tough crowd and people who are cheering me on. Thank you.
I understand you have a speech impediment, Joshua, but you still gotta try to make sense. Most people aren't gonna try to figure out what you meant to say, so please either put captions in your video to help people understand you better, or retake it until you've said it in a way people are gonna be able to understand. So for our viewers' sake, I'm gonna try to interpret what you meant. He's saying it's a tough crowd, and he's glad, I guess, people are cheering him on.
On that matter, I'm not entirely sure all those subscribers are actually cheering you on, as you put it. Subscribing to someone is the easiest way for people to keep up with what that particular user is up to, so it's entirely possible a considerable number of them are just keeping tabs on you. Also, the fact that you were expecting to get to this point seems just a tad bit egotistical, I think is the right word.
For this special, I'm going to be commenting on myself on the Nostalgia Critic.
Yo, what, mate?
And this, ladies and gentlemen, is what led my brother and I to make this commentary in the first place.
Whatever, I've already started a heated discussion spiraling from this issue in the comment section of this video. So if you guys want to see my somewhat disorganized thoughts on the matter, go there. And since I've kinda stolen the show so far, I'll let my bro take this one.
Thank you. So the issue with this video is that doing a commentary on yourself gives me the impression that you expect your past self to take your advice, which, unless you had a time machine, is impossible. And while you can argue you're doing this for fun, you seem to treat this video rather seriously. And while it's entirely possible to be serious and still have fun with something, you ultimately fall short of that when you give very little indication in the video that you had fun while doing this. Whether this is a result of lack of emoting, or the fact you seem to treat this video as if you were commentating on someone else, confounds me.
Now this is going to be different since I believe the Nostalgia Critic has made flaws in that video that I'm going to address them better than my old counterpart. Now with that out of the way, let us dive in.
So that begs the question, why not just redo your commentary on that video? I mean, if you still think the Nostalgia Critic's video had things wrong with it, why bash your younger self in the process? This seems to me like you just wanted to do another commentary on him, but attempted to try and justify it by tackling your own video on him. Oh, by the way, the particular Nostalgia Critic video Joshua covered was his review on the first Inspector Gadget movie, just so you don't get lost later.
I'll show you what true commentating really is.
I guess the true commentator quote that may be an egotist in a way where it didn't come off as true commentating. Heck, I kept defending it during that time.
How is that a point? All you're doing is acknowledging you used to do that and then move on. This really doesn't need to be here.
Hello, I'm the Nostalgia Critic. I remembered, so you don't have to.
Always loved the Nostalgia Critic's introduction, always will.
Pointless interjection is pointless.
So was that! If you cared to go into just a tiny bit more detail on how it was pointless instead of just saying it was, then I would have given you this point, but no, you didn't do that. And while I had the video stopped here, it's time I brought up another aspect of your presentation. The fact that the Nostalgia Critic's original video is stuck in a black and white void. I tried to see if the original video was any better about this, but since Joshua oh so conveniently forgot to leave the link to the original video in the description, I had to go searching for it. And when I did find it, I found the original video wasn't any better. He doesn't even address this as a flaw in his video, which really makes me wonder what his priorities were in regards to making points.
He makes these kind of points quite a bit during the video, just so you viewers are aware.
Doing a movie on this premise, however, would be tricky, but not impossible. Great care would have to be taken. Let's see, I know! Let's get that idiot who said that's a lot of fish from Godzilla! And while we're at it, why don't we get that moron who ruined Madonna's career? No, the other one. There you go! And finally, let's get one of the greatest directors of all time. The one who directed the coming-of-age classic, Cool as Ice. I smell genius!
And what's wrong with these actors? I know you elaborated, but could you elaborate a little bit more aside from them sucking in some way? Please?
He explained the problem with two of these things, but for Matthew Broderick, yeah, while he is infamous for his voice acting is good. After all, he did voice adult Simba in The Lion King.
His voice acting career doesn't mean much to his live action acting career. Also, you can't really be famous and infamous at the same time. It ultimately varies from person to person on what they know that particular person for. What you're describing is a hit or miss. Someone who, in this context, has had good performances in some movies, but also had subpar performances in others.
We see this annoying dream sequence where he saves a bus of kids from danger when we suddenly cut to cliché number 5621, thinking you're kissing a woman when really you're kissing an animal. Go Gadget rehash.
Brain.
Maybe in your opinion it wasn't all that funny, but to me I think I found it hilarious. I mean, a guy kissing a dog. Oh my gosh. At least he didn't kiss the dog's butt. That would have been even more hilarious. Oh, okay.
What you were trying to say is that cliché doesn't always mean bad. As for the guy kissing a dog's butt, that would work as slapstick. The Grinch is an example of a guy kissing a dog's butt done right.
How though? I mean, you can't use Inspector Gadget as a comparison because there wasn't any dog butt kissing to be found in that movie. But there was another movie called Paranorman that also had a scene where one of the characters unwillingly kisses a dog's butt. What makes that joke and the Grinch doing it right? Elaboration is needed. And on that matter, since I know you just love throwing definitions around, it's still technically slapstick considering it can still be considered humorously embarrassing to those viewing. Of course, this is ignoring how humor is subjective.
And on the matter of cliches, while they don't always ruin a movie, good writers try to steer clear of them or use them with a twist.
And of course, just like in the show, her parents are...
I don't actually remember Penny's parents being killed by some sort of murderer. Does any other Inspector Gadget fans know that her parents were killed by, a murderer? If so, please leave a comment on this commentary, or do it along with the constructive criticism you'll give me.
Congratulations! You have taken our joke seriously. For this, you win nothing! Absolutely nothing!
Okay, I know I just said humor is subjective, but let me explain to you why that joke wasn't good. For one, your delivery is very awkward, though this is probably due to your speech impediment. Secondly, the higher pitch in your voice is more grating on the ears than Spyscriber's old intro, and, well, it ruined an otherwise good point.
You sure seem to know a lot about humor.
Well, yeah, I'm not just a barrel of memes, you know.
Oh yeah, that's right. You're just a Ryan suck-up.
Yeah, wait a minute.
not around. And thus Uncle Gadget, known right now as Uncle Brown, is left alone to take care of her. This is Brain. He looks nothing like the cartoon, doesn't talk, so let's move on.
That's all you have to say? That Brain doesn't look anything like the cartoon Brain? Boy. Looks like you don't have much comment on Brain. Well, in a real life film, there has to be a real life dog. It must be like other dogs, I guess. I won't blame you right there, I guess.
Animation in live action. That's all I need to say.
No, that's not all you need to say. Are you referring to CGI, or what Who Framed Roger Rabbit did and have animation overlaying live-action footage? You need to clarify. But I'm gonna go on a limb here and say if the dog was animated, then not only would they look as subpar as all the CGI used to Inspector Gadget's gadgets, but it would create an isolating contrast between them and all the other characters in the movie.
Just as contrasting as our senses of humor. Ha! Got him!
I'm beginning to regret saving you.
Okay, time out! What the hell is that? Well, why are there suddenly random things popping up in the segways? Unless those are the segways?
Surprise!
It wasn't a twist. Also, I am going to be missing my Dark Shabbat voice.
What?!
It's another point that didn't need to be there.
Well, whatever that was, it was so edgy it absolutely sabotaged a legit point. But you know what scares me the most? What? That's probably not even his final form.
By God.
He zaps the doctor, I think, gets shot and edited by a monkey, and Brenna comes across the lab and sees what happened.
Dr. Bradford, I won't rest until I find whoever's responsible. Justice will be served.
Look at that! I almost pulled out of my wide-eyed blandness and delivered an actual human emotion, but I pulled back into the blandness just in time. Oh, that's too much emotion there. Just in time.
It's called having a sense of justice look. Every hero makes that look whenever they have the chance of thinking, it's time that I brought justice to the criminal.
Are you trying to say that the emote was intentional? Where's your proof on this? I mean, yeah, the sale could have been intentional, but you need to show some proof.
Oh, the irony!
So Brown goes after the bad guys to see if he can make justice prevail.
Oh no, we've been chased by the Hatchback Squad.
Were you meaning to keep Dr. Claw in the shadows? Because you are aware you're revealing him quite clearly right now.
Hey! He wasn't completely revealed.
You could make the argument that half of his face was covered in shadow. I mean, what if he had scars or something? Though that's not the case, it still could make a dramatic reveal. Don't worry, I'll be getting to it soon.
Well, sorry to say, but we aren't waiting to address this.
If I can try to put myself into your line of thinking, you claim that because his face was somewhat hidden by darkness, that it could still be a surprising reveal later? No. Not only do we see enough of his face to know what he looks like, i.e. one half of his face, but as the nostalgia critic brings up later on, he's shown in his full splendor for a big chunk of the movie.
That and you kinda shot yourself in the foot saying that there could be a reveal of a scar or something, only to acknowledge there's nothing of the sort. And even then, how would that be a reveal? Oh, big whoop, he's got a scar on his face. We just end up seeing his entire face not long after this. A reveal only works if it's been built up to, which this movie doesn't get the chance to do, assuming that he was going to have a scar. Also, I just love the fact that your new point still does Jack Diddley Squat as a valid point against the nostalgia critic statement at that point in the video.
I'm finding it difficult to rationalize how he has 500 subscribers at this point when he makes content like this.
Well, I mean, there must be some reason people like his content. Despite being dug into such a deep hole in the commentary community, he came out on the other side of the globe, right?
One of life's many mysteries.
Almost as mysterious as where I keep my shotgun. Wait, what?
We see that Claw actually has a claw now, so he decides to give himself that name. Yeah, I forgot to mention, his name wasn't actually Claw this whole time, it was Sanford Skolex.
Just Claw. One word. Like Madonna.
So, let's just recap. Dr. Claw isn't called Dr. Claw, he doesn't own a terrorist organization called MAD, he sounds less like a monster and more like a fashion critic, and the fact that you never see him in the show is being replaced with seeing him all the time! I mean, wow! Did they get one thing right? Why did you change so much? Were you afraid if you stuck too closely to the cartoon that wouldn't be taken as serious?
Hey, starting out with him showing his face actually is a good idea. And the sequel with him hiding his face and sounding like a monster, I bet you it's because everything that he got was ruined and it turned him into a monster. Wouldn't that come right around to your head, critic?
One of the biggest arguments you could make is why does it matter what they do with Dr. Claw? You could have anything added or subtracted and it wouldn't hurt the quality. Trying something new won't hurt the franchise.
No. Depending on what they change, it could very well affect its overall quality. If it's something so major it goes against the aspects that made the source material good, then yes, it can very much be considered a bad thing. Yeah, there is such a thing as introducing something old to a new audience, but part of the reason people even bother doing that is because of the audience that was there that made the property popular to begin with. In the case of Dr. Claw, by showing him constantly in the movie, it nullified the threatening presence that made him such an interesting villain in the original cartoon. It matters very much what they do to the character, because chances are, most of the people who went to go see this movie in theaters were the same people who grew up with the cartoon.
Mr. Brown, you've just come out of a very long recovery. You are now a sophisticated network of tissue hardware and software.
No! I gotta get out of here.
My God, is he bad? I'm sorry, this guy's a marvel. Truly a gift to bad acting. It's like he never knows which delivery to give, so he sorta stops halfway and decides to maybe go with another one. Maybe.
No! I gotta get out of here.
No! I gotta get out of here.
Oh, I think I understand the situation of that emote. Because, well, this is the first time he's getting used to his body, which is now completely with hardware and software tissue. Ugh.
You probably could have had that maybe Matthew Broderick was going for a hard time getting used to his body look. Cherry teeth, flickering body, heavy head. Those are good examples of someone getting used to this change. Heck, he even had a hard time getting used to his gadgets.
Okay, you know what? No, that point is still incorrect. His acting here has nothing to do with having just woken up after that operation, because that's implying they messed with his vocal cords, which if they did, his voice would be fluctuating a lot more, or not even being able to produce sound at all if he's so not used to it. Bad acting is bad acting, and considering he does stuff like this over the course of the entire movie, you can't simply give a pass to one time you feel has a legitimate excuse, especially when that excuse would be very much incorrect when you really think about it.
And Brown tries to get the hang of it.
There were two guys trying to rob a jewelry store, and you wanted to trip them up. What would you do?
Go Gadget oil slick.
That's not oil, it's toothpaste!
Okay, why would anyone put that much toothpaste inside of him? I mean, how many emergencies require toothpaste?
What if there was a toothpaste shortage?
Are you kidding me?
Let me take this one.
Alright, go ahead.
Okay, Joshua, that's an extremely unlikely hypothetical, and that raises so many questions. Like, wouldn't the fact that he has that much toothpaste in him be the reason for the shortage? In addition, in what possible event would there ever be a toothpaste shortage? That's a very specific thing to have a shortage of, especially considering everything goes into making toothpaste. I mean, I know it's only fiction, but you can only stretch people's suspension of disbelief so far.
Also, you're kind of proving my point you just wanted to commentate on the Nostalgia Critic again. Just saying.
And why a hose? Is there really a situation where you need to shoot toothpaste from a hose?
A giant toothpaste container. That is all.
You are literally pulling things out of your ass right now, Joshua. What about a giant toothpaste container? What does that have to do with the fact that there are gallons upon gallons of toothpaste in him?
I'm getting tired of saying this, but...
Explain! 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 Yo, Clouseau, 9 o'clock.
So they come across a couple of criminals trying to steal a car. But Brown, of course, thinks they locked themselves out and actually helps them to steal it.
Here, this ought to do it. Ah, thanks.
Surely they made the right choice in making him the world's first super cop. Imagine all those intelligent, hard-working officers putting their lives at risk that don't deserve such incredible power.
This is the first time that he's helping out people. That's why he mistook those criminals for people that locked themselves out of their own car. It's the first time he's on the job as a police officer. Ugh, jeez.
Because he got pushed in uniforms anywhere. You know, a much better argument you could say that sounds like catch to me. I mean, I want to say if the bad guys got away, but the gadget movie will set things straight.
Wow, I can't believe I'm saying this. Old Joshua actually had a better point than new Joshua.
Absurd!
Oh, I'm serious, and here's why I say this. Old Joshua is correct in the statement that this is technically his first time being a cop, and well, yes, he should have known. This is probably as close as the movie gets to accurately portraying his character. Keep in mind, in the cartoon, he was a bumbling idiot and a horrible judge of character, which, in a sense, is being displayed here. Another reason I say this would be because, well, I can just barely understand what new Joshua said here. All I can make out was, because you can purchase those uniforms anywhere, which if this was supposed to be a joke, then it doesn't work because people have to be able to hear the joke or else it falls flat from the word go. This is kind of sketchy, something about the bad guys escaping, and something about Gadget setting things straight. You know, there comes a point where having a speech impediment is no excuse for something like this. Enunciate. Speak more clearly.
Did you just tackle all three of the other degrees in this commentary in one point?
Huh, I think I did.
What a bunch of hacks!
Hey, what's the big idea?
Open your eyes. We got us a couple of jailbreakers.
Well, then we should inform the prison guard. Wait a...
By the way, just another pain to bring up in this movie. The editing is terrible. I mean awful. Some of the worst I've ever seen. Like, watch this shot. Halt! Did you see that? How short was that? 1/1000. It wasn't even half a second! What is the point of putting that shot in if you can barely see it? Was there a subliminal message that was trying to be snuck through? Actually, slow it down. Let's take a look. Ha! I know it!
There were two criminals. They put it in that shot so that way they know that the one criminal has already been caught by the Gadget Mobile.
That wasn't the Dr. Craig's beef. Are you even paying attention?
Not going to explain what his beef was? Not gonna point out old you was completely inaccurate with their point? No, because heaven forbid Joshua actually elaborates on a point that needs elaboration.
So Claw is impressed with Brenda's work and offers her a job to work with him. But Gadget doesn't trust him, and apparently doesn't recognize him, seeing how he clearly saw him blow up his car.
How do you know that he saw him? Elaborate!
Actually, he did saw it. The problem is Nostalgic is expecting way too much from Gadget. I mean, this is the same guy who could properly recognize Brain.
He did. Not only did he point out that the dog was supposed to be Brain, noting how he looks nothing like his cartoon counterpart, but the dog is directly referred to as Brain in the movie. Don't believe me? Then watch the first few minutes of your own video.
With that, we're ending the video here. After this, he makes one more valid point and then ends his video. So with that, on to final thoughts.
Considering both of our final thoughts are mostly the same, how about we go back and forth on the things that we both want to address, and just add anything additional after that.
Alright, you start.
Okay, so Joshua, I know you want to show that you've improved from 3 to 4 years ago, but you still have a lot of the same problems now that people called you out for in the past, albeit to a slightly lesser extent.
Look, I'm going to be completely honest with you. This video actually turned out to be better than I was expecting going in. However, it still had numerous things my brother and I took issue with. Enough to warrant the creation of this video.
Your visual quality is very below the bar. You tend to mumble a bit, making it even more difficult to determine what you're saying due to your speech impediment, and you've had a disconcerting lack of elaboration over the course of the video.
And to top it all off, the video is ultimately pointless since, again, you're commentating on yourself. Now, this would be fine if you didn't still do the things you called out your old self for, and didn't take the video that seriously, but no. Not only are you still guilty of things you were called out for years ago, but minus like 1 or 2 attempts at jokes, you seem to take this video way too seriously, regardless of what your intent was.
You've had a little over 5 years and too many commentaries to count done on you, Joshua. There's no excuse anymore. Either take into consideration what's been said to you in at least the past 6 months, or I can't guarantee people are going to take you seriously despite the number of subscribers you have.
Hey guys, it's LegoBricks3754 here with another commentary video, and today's commentary will be on Justin Thomas's video called Raina Cartflight, the Buzz on Maggie Grounds Balloon.
Alright, I'm just gonna give a brief rundown on what we see here. Off-screen recording? Check. No script? Check. Shaky camera? Check. Fails to give a link to the original video in the description? Check-a-rooney. Do I need to go on?
Let's watch this video right now.
Oh boy, I can't wait for the excellent points you'll bring up. You, gonna say something?
Balloon. You are grounded for 190919101910191019 days. Go to your room now.
I agree. She deserves it for being Justin Thomas's most hated character.
Okay, I'm just gonna interject here. I've went to the channel of the person in question, and while his videos are as painful as listening to nails on a chalkboard, that doesn't mean you, someone who makes content that's similar in quality, should keep commentating on this guy's videos, regardless who suggests them to you. And the point you just made really doesn't hold any water, considering you're not even gonna bother telling us why this character of theirs is so hated.
Yes, I grounded that stupid piece of helium.
Congratulations for you.
Young grasshopper, that is a statement that did not have to be made, as it did not add anything to the argument that this video is bad. Or at least that's what I hope that's what it is, considering you've done multiple videos about this guy.
In order to prevent myself from saying this over and over, I'm gonna skip over portions of the video where I just be responding the exact same way.
Rain card flight. Thank you so much for grounding balloon.
Yeah. That's what she gets for being Justin Thomas's most hated character.
Pardon me, good sir, but are you referring to the balloon or the blue-haired girl? If it's the former, then perhaps you could have made that clear at the beginning of the video, which could have easily been done with a little something called a script. If it's the latter, then, well, you just contradicted yourself, because they can't both be the most hated of his characters.
She deserves it for being Justin's #1 most hated character.
Whoa, hold up. Did the video just acknowledge something that this guy has been saying repeatedly? What is this madness?
As for this, you get a reward.
Really? What is it?
I am calling your dad and he will be happy about what you did.
The reward is getting her dad to be happy with her? Best reward ever!
I think I might be coming down with a case of stupidity.
Raina, thank you so much for grounding balloon.
Wait, Kirby is her father? Why? Also, if I can just sum up what the commentated on video was about. The blue-haired girl, who I have to assume is Balloon's neighbor, grounds her, and Benson and Kirby praise her because Balloon deserved it. I'd strangle myself, but we still got his other video to cover. Deep breath.
Hey guys, it's LegoBricks3754 here, with another commentary video request by Justin Thomas.
I don't know what's worse, the fact that there's a guy suggesting his own videos as material for this guy, or that this guy is taking no suggestions.
Anyways, I don't know how he keeps flooding me with all of these commentary requests, but I don't seem to mind it.
Simple. He either comments on your videos, or freaking PMs you. And just a quick question, what do you count as getting flooded by these requests? Because at least in my mind, flooding would be him sending you far more requests than you can stay on top of. Also, the way you worded that last part implies you have no idea whether or not you mind it, which I'm gonna give you the benefit of the doubt and assume that's not what you meant. All the more reason to have a script!
This time he requested me to do Hitler Works at Wendy's, which is one of my favorite fast food chain restaurants. Let's watch this video right now.
Okay, if I might just interject here, why did you decide to do a commentary on this video? A commentary involves objecting to points made in the video, which, in a video like this, it has none. This only supports that these aren't really even commentaries, and more along the lines of reaction videos. Which, given how your channel is littered with those too, isn't all that surprising.
Mein Führer, dann ist die 9. Armee verloren. Wir werden die im Norden und Osten bis an den äußeren Verteidigungsring vorstoßenden Sowjetverbände in einem rücksichtslosen, mit aller Kraft geführten Gewaltschlag zurückwerfen.
I agree. It's better than those other 4 restaurants.
Okay, enough of that. Let's just get to a point where I can legitimately interject.
Suchen Sie den!
Und die eigentliche Szene oder was Hitler gegenüber auf der Lage dann passiert, das werden wir eigentlich erst in München erfahren, oder ich.
Verrat! Bringen Sie mir Fäden ein!
No offense, but don't curse.
Okay, 3 things. First of all, that isn't actually what they're saying. This audio is part of a video that a lot of people had put various subtitles over because of the many humorous scenarios that can be accompanied by the way the people in it react. Secondly, there are a lot of people on the internet who don't care whether or not a video has coarse language in it. Finally, I find it so hilarious that you think this video is going to adjust itself to what you're saying.
My parents won't let me do any videos with cursing in them.
Then why did you do a video on something with that exact thing in it?
I think I might be legitimately going insane right now.
Mr. Adolf Hitler, please report to Mr. Frankenstein's office right now because he has your grades for you.
I didn't know you record in any of these videos.
English, motor trucker! Do you speak it? And even if I know what you meant, that still doesn't excuse that you didn't watch the video before making this commentary. This is only proving this is a reaction video with an identity crisis.
So, Frank, how did Hitler do today?
Not too shabby. Here is his grade.
Ooh, a B+, that's cool.
He only served one person in order, and he hated those business-friendly characters, so he is free to go.
So wait, he gets a B+ for only serving one customer and driving off all the other ones while working at a fast food place? Why am I even trying to make sense of this?
Come on, Hitler. Let's go home.
Aren't you also gonna give him a present for doing so good?
That's not how business works, dude. You don't get rewards for doing good at your job. And if they do that instead of giving you a paycheck, that's called bribery. Since there isn't anything more to point out, I'll just end it here. Here I go again. For those of you who are newer to the channel, let me briefly fill you in. A user by the name of the Tristan France has been acting salty towards me ever since I did a commentary on one of his videos. There was a dispute, he made a laughable response video, and that's when I decided to ignore him for a while. But lately he's been at it again. He's re-uploading a lot of his older videos. So now he thinks his subscribers are incapable of scrolling down a page and pressing a button. Among them was a follow-up video to his original rant. That is the video I will be doing a commentary on today. I'll have some music softly playing in the background to keep things at least mildly interesting. Let's dive into this. So, you're actually gonna try this time? I had my doubts, but you've caught my interest. Already I can deduct some credibility because of your grammar and punctuation. Peachy. Also, if you didn't give a damn, then why did you create this follow-up video and mention me in several other of your videos so many times? More horrible grammar. Okay, it's official. Your grammar is horrendous. I really hope you have better grammar when you're in English class. Also, how does simply saying swag shove it down your throat? By that logic, you're shoving it down your own throat when you say it. It appears you're taking that literally. I mean, haven't you heard the saying to push someone's buttons? Same logic. Also, 10 years ago becomes irrelevant when something like this is happening now. Le hateful speech, anyone? Sheesh, I'm surprised not even the people you're hating on tried to flag your videos at this point. Also, you speak of your surroundings as if that's what the rest of the world is like, which I can tell you isn't true. I get this is a rant I'm commentating on, but a lot of this is just speculation and stuff you still didn't research. Even when these are written out, you still can't take the time to learn a little more about what you're ranting about to make a more valid argument. Also, you know McDee's is where a lot of people have their first jobs, right? If you think the media is to blame, then why don't you do a rant on that instead of the people it's influencing? And why are you bringing yet another group into this discussion?
This paragraph of text is just nonsense. I mean, they weren't part of the original discussion, so why even mention them? Let me look up the word ghetto real quick. So let me get this straight. You not only misuse a term, but the term that was most used in the 90s. I assume you got your definition from Urban Dictionary, the one place you should never go if you're looking for 100% accurate definitions. Oh, so you were a PewDiePie fan? That would explain your behavior. Kids these days. I believe the easy solution for your problem, young grasshopper, is to not watch or listen to the news, or at least the network that these things are apparently on. Providing you even get a girl that wants to be around you. I mean, who is going to like a spiteful guy who doesn't even show his face on the internet? Physical strength isn't the only feature that one looks out for, and judging from how you look, you've got no room to talk. Also, you want to blame someone? Why not Zoidberg? Do you not know how to use capital letters? You only learned that skill in kindergarten. Or did you not go to kindergarten? People ask you to show your face because by covering it up, you look like you have something to hide. And before you go off saying that I'm doing the same thing, first of all, I have several recent videos that show what I look like. And secondly, this character is a caricature of myself. I'm intrigued that you knew I was gonna say no, but not for the reasons you came up with. It's not good enough because of simple things like punctuation and grammar errors. Not to mention, you're just rambling despite the fact you wrote this down. That and a video really isn't interesting without sound. Besides, if you really wanted them to read your text letter for letter, you could have just as easily made this entire rant into an article. You're calling me the bully, when you've been the one slandering me across your videos? Yeah, sorry buddy, that's not how it works. Also, you're calling me childish when you're the one who's acting more like a child for not letting this go? And guess what? That's the impression I get as I'm reading this letter for letter. The misinterpretation here is ridiculous. What I meant by no one is truly normal is that there really isn't a set standard for normal that most people follow. And even then, who the hell wants to act just like someone else? Also, you'd think you would have at least put an annotation on your video fixing the number of subs you said you had.
Happy?
Also, I have the shirt because my parents picked it up at a store when I was at home doing other things. To be honest, I like playing t-shirts better, but clothes are clothes. I don't wear it anymore because I'm outgrowing it, both physically and mentally. You're digging your own grave with statements like these. It's these kind of contradictory statements that have made me not take you very seriously since the very beginning. You tell me to kiss your ass when you insist you aren't the bully? I don't recall if I ever asked her the relevance of Marco YOLO. Certainly not in this video. I can only assume you expected me to jump on the original video right away and make a point like that. Guess I'm not as transparent as you think I am. I'll tell you right now that none of that is true, and even if it was, you don't have any way of proving it. Not everyone knows the origin behind the term, hence why I brought it up to begin with. Relevant statement that doesn't even make a whole lot of sense. I'm skipping through some of this because I have nothing to commentate on other than things I've been saying over and over. You're defining stags, moving on. You realize it's not just the people who you're targeting in your rant that take selfies, right? You'd be wrong again. Right here is a chart of the term swag being used over time. As you can see here, it was first coined in the 1800s. Dropped in usage until about 1850, up until 1950 where it decreased slightly, but it's still being used very consistently today. Given the term may have had a different meaning back then, but it's hardly a new word. You knew I was gonna question your grammar, didn't you? Also, does it really matter what deodorant they have on? People stink, so they use deodorant. Whatever brand they use is their choice. I take it you don't use deodorant then. You must smell really bad if that's the case. Low self-esteem? That statement can also be applied to you. I mean, you waste your time ranting on the internet about things that a lot of people could care less about. Picking on both general groups and specific people in the process. How am I a bully when I merely respond to you trash talking about me? Cornball? That's not even an insult. This is what it means. What did you do when getting your insults? Look at the top definition on Urban Dictionary. This should be obvious, but you don't have to be the target audience of something in order to like it. Such examples being how over here, the Yu-Gi-Oh! Trading card game is targeted at children, yet most of its fan base is somewhat older people such as myself. Both pot and meth are drugs used to achieve a high. Also, I find it funny you're still using that stereotype like it's still actually relevant. It's not in all of our faces, just in the ones who care enough to be for or against it, and you'd be the latter. Skipping ahead because he continues to rant about stereotypes. Deadpool's a guy. Yeah, you're right. You don't flip out as easily as me. You flip out a lot easier than I do. Ever heard of a scripted response? Skipping ahead a bit due to him bringing in yet another group just to make a point about merchandising. Look, I brought him up to make a point that bronies don't always fall under the stereotype you keep throwing around. I can tell you didn't bother looking at his videos due to the sole fact that he's a fan of My Little Pony. First of all, not what I meant by checking him out. Secondly, how do you expect to get so much as a job if you can't show some credibility? Also, keep in mind, Tristan, almost all your videos were text rants like this one I'm commentating on, or some other kind of video where you don't do so much as make a sound, so what am I supposed to think? A lot of other guys who use this program use a voice that matches their gender. First of all, young grasshopper, it's a Chinese guy. Secondly, when did I ever say those things? I see you're resorting to flat out lying because there is no way you can provide evidence for that entire statement. Skipping ahead again because of rehashed statements. Look who's talking about being stupid. You used either instead of rather. I can't tell if you meant to say that, but if you did, just wow. Also, you're essentially saying you don't have a whole lot of real friends with your statement about not going out to make friends. I'm sorry, but do you see any of those? Well, except that one, but that is literally the only one out of the first 200 or so, and I zoomed this out quite a bit. So you mean to tell me you either actually went out searching for these things, or you're just making this up? Let me ask you this. Have you actually looked for someone who fits that description? Hard to argue with the point you're trying to bring down. The majority of those shows have no substance or quality to them. My Little Pony has actually good episodes, given the only time I actually watch it is when someone has it on and a remote is out of my reach, skipping over a little more due to unimportance. Oh, so now you're essentially saying you hate Lauren Frost and anything she's created? Newsflash, bud, she didn't create those shows. Craig McCracken did, and she's more involved with another more recent show called Wonder Over Yonder than she ever was with My Little Pony. Of course you would have known that if you actually done a little research. I'm getting the impression you hate any show that has a female protagonist. Talk about sexist. Also, you talk about speaking your mind, but at the same time not letting them speak theirs. How is that all fair for both sides? Also, you finally get a word right, albeit your grammar still sucks. Trolling spree? Salty and misinterpretations are salty. If you thought I was trolling you because you got mad, that was never my intention and I apologize for that. Also, just because someone comes to me about you, that doesn't automatically make them a friend. I mean, we may both share a common interest in hating your guts, but that only makes us as much as acquaintances, just like you and your subscribers. So let me get this straight. You will not hesitate to call someone this, but wouldn't be caught saying this. I fail to see how you think that's right in the slightest. The main evidence you have going against you here is that you say the show is so bad, and yet you haven't actually bothered to sit down and prove your own points. And with that, any hope you had of anyone taking you seriously with this argument, besides your subscribers, has vanished into thin air. You talk about not needing to know what friendship is when it's clear you don't exercise this except with people who agree with your bias and borderline extremist views. I've got an example on how you've been a hypocrite. Back when I first made my commentary, you threatened to report my video for copyright claims. And what did you do? You created your own, albeit laughably horrible in quality, degree commentary, ignoring your own beliefs of copyright. For those who do not know what a degree commentary is, it's when someone commentates on a commentary. Anywho, by doing that, if you ever wanted to report my video, I can simply report yours. Okay, Metallicans isn't even a word. I'm ending it here because he repeats a few statements again and ends his rant.
Hey guys, It's SMFA Fan 673. Today I will be doing a commentary on Coolio the Hedgehog.
That's right, folks. This dude is another YouTuber who hides behind a computer voice. And if I know anything about people who do this, videos made like this are disliked by anyone besides the creators who watch them.
Last time I made a commentary, I miserably failed.
And you seriously think doing a video in the exact same style as that other one is going to help you improve?
Now that I have Sony Vegas, I can finally make videos.
Sony Vegas? Why Sony Vegas? If anything, you should get Audacity.
So let us begin, shall we?
Whoa, wait a minute. That's supposed to be a hedgehog? It looks more like a cat than anything.
Hey guys, it's Coolio the Hedgehog. You know, these trolls...
Obviously the most butthurt, most dead topic. As if. Trolls.
I'm sorry, young grasshopper, but that grammar does not make any sense. Also, why did you cut him off in mid-sentence? Seriously, that's just the sign of a bad commentator.
I just can't.
Then ignore them. It is that simple.
You know, I thought that if I came back, you trolls were gonna stop and just forget about me.
Kid, the trolls are not gonna go away if you come back. If anything, they're gonna start bugging you even more now.
Of course they will forget you. I mean, look at your drawing. Tell me, that drawing is a deformed Sonic. Just no.
How does his drawing have anything to do with the trolls ignoring him?
They didn't, and you still keep trolling me.
Trolls are there to cause trouble, not to prance around like unicorns.
Why?
Don't make me repeat myself. Because they are to cause trouble. It is that freaking simple.
Hey.
Gosh dang it. Can you edit at all? You are wasting all the precious viewers' time. Good way to slow down the viewers.
Okay, these pauses are getting annoying, yes, but aren't you able to edit them out?
It's just not fair.
Life will never be fair, unless you are Chuck Norris.
I never did anything.
Welcome to the Internet, Coolio. Have a nice freaking day.
And I've already gotten a lot of messages from this one guy called, he's called,
Obvious stutters are always obvious stutters. Seriously. Windows Movie Maker is your friend. Use it.
Okay, I've had enough with these pauses. Basically, the kid forgets the guy's username, given he didn't have a script in hand when he should have, and then going on to say this dude filled up his inbox with negative messages, in which SMFA fan bashes him for not simply using the term F-bomb.
He said, I'm gonna hack you. I'm gonna hack you.
There's this new thing called life. You know, get used to it.
And he kept sending them to my inbox.
It's not like you have over 9,000 messages in your inbox.
Way to throw in an almost pointless Dragon Ball Z joke.
You know?
And it wasn't Cloud. I know it wasn't Cloud. And it wasn't, that other guy who hacked me before Cloud.
Wait, you've been hacked before, kid? Perhaps changing your password every now and again will prevent that from happening.
It was someone else. But you trolls.
They are giving you constructive criticism on how to be successful.
You're just making me rip my hair out.
Again, they are giving you constructive criticism.
I'm serious, you trolls. You just won't leave me alone.
Look, kid. Trolls are to cause trouble in this human world.
Last time I checked, trolls didn't exactly give constructive criticism.
I make beautiful pictures for you.
Did you see that jerk? He dropped his notes.
You see, it took me 3 hours to make this.
More like 3 minutes.
And when I was done, I go to see if the trolls can say, sorry, we shouldn't have trolled you.
Don't draw these pictures. Doing that will make trolls hate you even more.
But no! You write bad words? My mom wants to ground me for it now.
You do realize that's your problem, right? Secondly, your picture isn't exactly what people would call fine art, so yeah, they're gonna hate on it. That's life.
Get this. Get a freaking life.
He's a kid. What do you expect him to do?
And I don't want to get grounded.
Let's play the clip, shall we?
Did you see that jerk? He dropped his notes.
Okay, that just came off as offensive.
Now crying will just add a whole new level to people yet again hating you.
You trolls are gonna get me grounded for no reason.
Actually, there are reasons. And those reasons are to get a good laugh out of a crybaby.
I didn't do anything, and it's all your fault I'm gonna get grounded.
Big deal, Coolio the crybaby.
Stupid holes.
No. Just no. I'm skipping over this next part because SMFA fan 673 begins throwing insults around when this kid starts to break down.
Why does this amuse you? And if you check my favorites, there's this guy who said 14 or 15-year-old people are calling him fat.
He is kinda fatter than Cartman.
Well, I feel the exact same way. I found out about him. His name is Norm.
No comment here.
Then don't stop the video to say something.
Norm, these trolls, I agree with you. 14, 15-year-old trolls, they have nothing better to do. I agree to you. I gave your video 5 stars and I favorited it. You go, man. You rock. And I don't think you're fat either. And I even have some friends that kids would call fat, but I don't call them fat.
Now we are on a new topic. This is about trolls, not fat people.
And that is why I'm ending it here. All that happens is the kid continues to go off topic, with SMFA fan 673 giving one more point.